Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another broadcast of the Lawrence Report. On tonight's broadcast, we'll be discussing Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. As you can see here, I got a new mic. Actually, I do have a mic, period. Finally got one. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me okay in this with this new mic right here. So let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully with this new mic. Now let's get into it, y'all. I got a chance to see, well, actually, let me just say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you all enjoyed a good time with your family and your friends. So now let's get into Aquaman 2. So over the holidays, I had a chance to finally check out this movie right here. And I must say, in my humble opinion, I believe it was pretty good. It was much better. If I had to compare it to the Marvels, it was much better than the Marvels, for an example. It had a lot of action in it, a lot of adventure. I love the battle between Aquaman and Black Manta. But for me, this was good. This was a very good movie. I went in with low expectations. I didn't know exactly what to think about, considering that this is going to be the last one for the DCU before they, go to another version of it. But for me, it was good. But for those who have not seen it yet, let's get into a quick synopsis of what Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom is truly about. All right, when it comes to Aquaman 2, let's get it, y'all. Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, is now recognized as the king of Atlantis and a new father, but he must once again face the vengeful Black Manta. As we all know, Manta is one of the biggest threats to the Seven Seas as he embarks on a quest to obtain the Black Trident, an artifact that could end the entire world. To combat this all-powerful foe, Arthur must team up with the unlikely hero, his brother, his half-brother actually, Orm, as they both assemble to take down Black Manta once and for all. And like I said, this right here is ending the DCU for the time being. But we had this guy right here. This guy right here, he kind of helped kick it off a little bit, But we'll see what this guy right here can bring with the James Gunn and Superman Legacy that's coming out very, very soon. As you can see, I'm actually wearing a fishing shirt myself. Bam. Can y'all see the fish on that? Yeah, hopefully y'all can see that. So yeah, Aquaman 2, y'all. Loved it. Quickly, we got into the story. We quickly find out, what the story is about when it comes to Aquaman. Being a father and having to balance being a king and having to deal with the surface dwellers and things of that nature right there. So for me, it was very action-packed. I completely loved the underworld area. That was simply amazing, breathtaking. Love the special effects, the colors of the ocean, and loved seeing all the sea creatures. And one of my favorite scenes was actually these guys wasn't sea creatures; they was creatures of the earth, I believe. But there was this one scene with Aquaman and Orm. They was basically in a wooded forest area, and it looked like these giant alien caterpillars, right? No, not caterpillars, but grasshoppers, right? These grasshoppers, they were so big, and they was chasing Aquaman and his brother. That's one of my favorite scenes of in Aquaman 2. But not to mention the fight scene, the choreography between Black Manta. I'm not talking about the tease part. There was one in the early beginning stages. We saw like a little tease. That tease was okay, but towards the end, that fight choreography between Black Manta and Aquaman, top notch. Absolutely loved that. My only hope is, I wish it could have been a little bit longer, just because, I'm a fan of, karate, martial arts, things of that nature right there. But other than that, that scene right there was simply amazing. And like I said, I really didn't have any fault in this movie. It was very chilled. You know, and for me, I wasn't expecting too much from it. You know, considering it was the last one, but this was this was pretty good to me. Now, I absolutely love this brother right here, Yaya, as he is playing the role of Black Manta. Of course, we saw him back in Aquaman 1, now Aquaman 2. This brother right here absolutely beasted his role. You know, in the movie, we saw that he was hell-bent on basically ending Aquaman. That included, you know, Mera, the baby, Aquaman himself. It didn't matter. He was hell-bent because he wanted to, you know, avenge his father. So for me, his acting in this right here was pretty good. And now we're probably going to see Yaya. He's basically leaving DC, as we all know, and he will be moving on to Marvel as Wonder Man. But you know, I know there's been a lot of rumors to see if Wonder Man's actually going to go through. Is he actually going to be canceled? So that right there is in itself. But if he does switches over to Marvel, I definitely will be supporting him very much so. And I love the brotherly relationship between Orm, aka Ocean Master himself, and Aquaman. You know, because basically, you know, for Aquaman, he needed another helping hand to defeat Black Manta. He didn't want to turn to his brother, but unfortunately, when times get hard and you're in a desperate situation, you have to do what you have to do, right? And for Ocean Master, for me, I saw this as the arc for him, and this right here was what's I'm looking for? A second chance, like a positive second chance. That's what I saw for him. And even when the opportunity came around, when he did take on the Black Trident, you know, he tried to resist from listening to the evil king that was telling him to do these, you know, evil things. So for me, I loved how they kind of gave him a second chance to redeem himself, you know, because, you know, for him, you know, he was also a big part of Aquaman 1, being the evil brother, you know, him and his brother, Aquaman, you know, facing off again in part 1, but then in part 2, you know, we got a chance to see them, you know, become brothers and work one as one. You know, even in this movie right here, we did see Aquaman, you know, as Ocean Master basically had the Black Trident in his hand. I love that monologue that he was, well, a mini monologue that he was telling his brother, like, listen, you're my brother, you're my family, you are not in this alone. So I did love that interaction between him and his brother. But for me, yeah, this right here, I really didn't have too much to say about it. I mean, I know there's a couple of reshoots that was going on. As far as I'm talking about the negative aspect of it, I know there's a couple of reshoots that was going on. You know, the test screenings was originally bad for this Aquaman, but again, I guess with the reshoots, everything seemed to be okay in my eyes. You know, there was a little bit of stuff here and there with the VFX and special effects, but you know, to the average movie fan, I don't think they would have noticed it versus someone, you know, like me. But I thought the script was okay. It wasn't the best. It was okay. But it basically got straight to the point. So if I had to say some, I hate to say negative, but if I had to say, well, yeah, I guess if I had to say like my negative takes on it, what I just mentioned would basically be my negative takes on Aquaman. If I had to rate this Aquaman right here, Aquaman 2: The Lost Kingdom, for me, I would probably give it a solid, I'm probably gonna say a solid 8 out of 10 for me. It was much better than the first one, without a doubt. The only thing I hate when it comes to, I'm not gonna say a lot of superhero movies, but some superhero movies, I hate when they have too many jokes. Especially with hard-nosed character, like tough-nosed, hard-nosed characters, right? And for me, you know, Aquaman's always been one of those hard-nosed characters. So some of the jokes landed, some of the jokes did not land. I guess when they're writing these scripts, or whatever, in some ways they're doing it, I guess, for like little kids to laugh at, I guess. But so, you know, I may make a separate video about what I think is going to happen with James Gunn and how, you know, this right here, was the ending of the DCU as we know it. And WB, you know, they did end up having a very big year, you know, releasing The Flash, Blue Beetle, for an example, they came out this year. So they kind of had a pretty big year. I know it's like two other movies I think they released. I just can't think of them right now as superhero related. But like I said, I'm probably gonna make a separate video of what are my expectations for James Gunn and his new universe when it comes to Superman Legacy. So if you watched AquaMan, let me know your thoughts below. I would love to read your comments about what you think they could have done better, what you didn't like, and what you did like when it came to AquaMan. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Report.